government, or they can leverage, right? Again,
Yes. Right.
it's a lot nonprofits. This is just me talking. The one of the best investments you can have as a nonprofit,
Mm.
a charitable status number.
Ah, that that's also a big conversation for the community, the Black community, talking about how many nonprofits do we have and how many are actual charities, because not many of them become charities.
Because
Mm.
legally, you're not a charity if you don't have a charitable status number.
Right, right,
Now,
right.
maybe I'm wrong there, but to me, once you get your charitable status, it's a whole different ballgame, because then big donors will say, okay, they see you're somewhat legit. Okay. And I won't get into that. Let's get into this right now. Maybe I will. Aldefina says, so true, Dr. Vibe. Nonprofits cannot only rely on philanthropy, they must be for profit initiatives at a foundation level. Facts.
Mhm.
Ray says it takes capital to do community work, so I'm more inclined to build profit businesses that so we can do real community work, which is job creation. Exactly. So I believe for once you and Ray are agreeing. I don't have
For
I
once.
don't have the answers, but I'm not sold. There we go. And then Fitness IQ says,
Yes.
very true, Ryan. Yeah, I think
Mm.
you should only be looking for a handout for so long from the
Yes.
government.
Right.
And again, and it's funny, this is still somewhat the conversations we're having during the pandemic. It's still carrying on. Post pandemic, we're carrying
Right.
with the same things. We need to learn. We need to learn
Mm.
and move forward. Since this seems like behavior that's going before the pandemic, the game has changed.
Well, and the big piece that has changed, as you were talking about, nonprofits have to be able to build up and then kind of wean themselves off the funding. So, in order to access this social finance fund, remember, these aren't grants, these are investments. So, if
Uh-huh.
you're not operating a business that's investable, you're not going to get this
You're not
money.
gonna get money. You ain't gonna
So,
get money.
there's
You're not
a
gonna.
there's a
You're gonna.
preparation window there that needs to
You're not gonna get
be
money. You're not
focused
gonna get
on.
money.
So these
Like
aren't
I
because
said,
we can't treat it like grants. Yeah.
so again, this is another thing with this fund. I wonder if it can go to organizations that don't have a charitable status number. I'd like to know that too.
I would think it, because it can go to for-profit businesses too.
So it's open season.
It is, and that's where,
That's where I have a big difficulty again. There's no
yeah.
accountability. Just give the money
Mm.
and done. And then bang. It's like that hamster wheel.
Gotcha.
Eventually the hamster gonna get tired and
Right.
drop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gonna drop. That's
Mm.
my gosh. My gosh, I tell you. People, what are we thinking? What are we thinking about this continuous conversation? I didn't get time to, but next time we
Mm.
do one of these, I have a list of 7 things
Mm.
I brought together for Black business to do to be successful, or help Black business.
Right,
But
right,
I
right.
only have a few of them right now, but I'm gonna get them down to the next time we do one of these conversations. We'll
Mm.
go. So Aldefina says, in my experience, grassroots nonprofits can greatly benefit from partnership trusteeship with registered charities. It
Mm.
comes back to collaboration and strategic sustainable planning. I like that idea. The only difficulty with that is if you are a grassroots nonprofit and your partnership trusteeship, you got to align with someone you can trust, because at the end of the day, the registered charity has the final decision on where money goes, not the grassroots nonprofit.
Mm. Very true.
Right? There is an organization out there, I ain't gonna tell their name, that is a fairly large, like, when you see them online and on camera, it's Black run, but the final decisions of monies come from non-melanated people,
Okay.
right? I'm not gonna say who it is, and if they come after and say, okay, show me your charitable status number,
Hmm.
and I think up to now they still don't have it.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go into it too deep. Divine Right. Good morning. I worked in a nonprofit field for 20 years, and the one downfall I saw in experience where nonprofits are solely relied on government grants. There you go. There
Right.
you go.
Exactly.
Right. People feel entitled for handouts. And I think that a lot of people, I think, are right across the board. I think, and not just melanated people. Right. Okay. And Ray McMillan. For your information, I have never been approached or informed by anyone to support funding in 25 years plus meeting Ryan in 2017. I also don't know who has been. So how effective is this process? Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Divine Right from the DMV. Right. I worked with a couple where they had to close their doors because most of their budget was based on government grants. Once the grants start coming, they didn't have enough to maintain.
That's it. And I mean, people doing great work having to close their doors because they're relying on grants and the funder changes their mind or that grant program is no longer available. That is not a sustainable business model. And like you said, even if you're running a nonprofit, that is still a business. So you have to be able to create multiple streams of revenue so that, it's diversified the types of funding that you're getting.
Cam, let's hear the ones you have, Dr. Vibe. One or two of them I may give before the end of the conversation. Ray says, my support came from the CFIB, the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. And this circles back to that whole thing again, getting help from non-melanated organizations. All right. So, and I'll bring another great example. I was at this conference, Interactive Advertisers Bureau, on Wednesday. And I had a chance to introduce myself to the company, the president of the organization. And I shared a little bit of what I do. We were just having a conversation because, hey, you know something? I'm going to introduce you some people in our organization. We'd love to have you speak to some of our young content creators. They would love to hear your journey.
Okay. Yes.
Woman, the lady don't look like me,
Right.
Don't look like me at all. I wasn't there to pitch myself. I just shared what I did.
Exactly.
Now, I do say that Shirley from Black Canadian Content Creators is moving in a good direction because she had a get together last Thursday with various Black content creators, and we'll see what becomes of that. It was the first time I went to anything like that in Canada.
Right. Okay.
But this lady at the IAB says, and then there was the gentleman who did the presentation. Well, I'll mention, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself, people here on Friday, but again, the last presentation of the day that we went to on Thursday, it's a gentleman who runs an ad agency. One of his major clients is Kobo Reader.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He, in the last 2 months, him and his team devised a marketing campaign for Kobo using AI totally.
Okay.
So him and I are going back and forth for him to come on the platform.
Right.
That was next level conversation.
But
go ahead, Brian. What
I was curious with his I'm not sure how deep he went into like how they used it, but I've heard other marketing agencies that are totally against AI.
They are.
But here's something. I was amazing to hear that. Yeah.
So here we go, and we'll just do a quick little promo, then we'll get into more of that conversation. Right. Just a little break here. Make sure you like the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook and LinkedIn. Also, we'd love you to join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Please email me at dr.vibe at the Dr. Vibe Show so we can continue these conversations in between Monday and Friday conversations. So Charles, at the end of his presentation, Charles got the last question in and he said, hey, Devin, and that was the gentleman's name, Devin. It's just you and me. Let's forget everybody that's here, right? You and I just talking and said, where have you had the better experience doing a marketing campaign? With ChatGPT AI or with an agency? Within 5 seconds, he said ChatGPT.
Wow.
And they said, why? He says, because ChatGPT brings wider voices in. Because a lot of times if you're dealing with an agency, they've got They're just thinking basically linear, their form of thinking. He said he got more value. And within the first 3 weeks, the campaign has just been very impressive, the results they're getting.
Whoa. Okay.
And so we asked him, so how does your marketing company like this? Oh, they don't. Oh, they don't.
So he is like, he leads the Kobo advertising team or the marketing team?
His company works with Kobo. So they do campaigns for Kobo.
Okay. So yeah, so they're an agency that has embraced AI and is using it to support one of their clients.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. This man, that's maybe the first I've heard of an
that was a game changer. Like I got to follow up with him again, because if I can get him on and you know, well, okay, so some more comments here. Thanks, family, for jumping. Our brokerage agent was built on social enterprise model, subcontracting and providing training and certifications. We don't only ask for grants, but also invitation challenges and R&D competitions. Okay, good.
Innovation challenges.
Yeah, innovation challenges. Fitnets IQ. Who is one of the key people. If you want to find out about Earn Your Leisure, she's the person you go to. She's the contact person. Dr. Vibe. I mean, if we get funding from non-melanin, is that really an issue? I think the philosophy, I want to buy melanated first. Money, hey, if I'm the money part, I'll take money, no problem. Though I'll try to buy black first. Next up, Waswell says, just get in the room, because sometimes access to information can be more valuable than a few dollars. I 100% agree with that comment. And that's why one of the major reasons I go to places, for example, Ryan at that CEO Global event, just getting in that room expanded your thought process, right? Yes. And the funny thing is, Ryan, remember that gentleman from that media corporation? We won't say who it is.
All right. Yes.
I actually met one of his coworkers on Wednesday.
At the advertising thing.
Yes. And actually, that person is an associate of Roger Dundas's.
Okay.
So Damien saying, why are they against AI? Marketing agencies don't want. They're going to lose work if you can get this devise a campaign through AI. Why do you need a human aspect?
And the big thing that I heard from one agency is how, because AI is very general, they're saying like, they're an agency of storytelling. So, AI doesn't get deeper into the company's story and can, generate, I would say, an empathetic campaign. Although ChatGPT is starting to dig, if you prompt it correctly,
that's the key.
Change from just vanilla, like general statements to really specific. You can change the tone to be like, it can get deep. So those that are resisting it, like you said, until they feel the heat.
Well, this is the thing that when you're using AI, the prompts is the key. Yeah. The better the prompt, the better the information you're going to get. Let's see.
You can ask it You can ask it to ask you questions about your business, so that the responses it gives is more specific to it can get really deep, people.
Yeah. So Fitnets IQ is laughing, but she also says, stop this. What are you asking me to stop, Fitnets IQ, Cam? Okay, hold on. So Waswell goes, research plus development opportunities can lead into longitudinal studies, funding for 3 to 5 years, operations. Yeah, you know the drill. Absolutely, you know what you're talking about. And
right.
Macmillan Group, I agree with Waswell. Information is the real currency. Absolutely. Free money can make one complacent and not properly quantify risk and scalability. Agreed. Like I'm the type of person. Yeah, for me, it's not so much. When I meet people, I don't want what they have. I want what they know.
Right.
Okay. Oh, Fitnets IQ. I know you're going to answer, but you're saying I'm not an EYL representative yet.
I was going to say, how come you're not in London? I think their next stop is London.
Yet. But yeah, so this is this is what's going on, and it's just very interesting where the Black Canadian landscape is really interesting right now because it's real quiet.
Well, and this is where now, I don't know if we're gonna jump too deep into it, but I was at First Fridays on Friday, and they're doing their
Congratulations
29th.
on your Durham launch.
So Selena Chavanez was there speaking and talked about how this mayoral campaign in Toronto is a real leadership decision for how we want the city to go, because it's going to ripple affect a lot of different cities based on what Toronto does. You know, like she was saying, if Toronto sneezes, the surrounding regions get a cold kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so yesterday night, First Fridays, they were leading a meet the candidates session, kind of like a debate.
Yeah.
And so hearing the candidates and them getting questions about specifically the Black community and what they have, like what's their strategy to support the Black community, and the mumbling, fumbling, even Black candidates were like, well, you know, you don't really want to only focus on one community yet. I'm like, having no answer for that spoke volumes.
Yep.
But then also those that are already in Black communities, and I won't say the specific person's name, and haven't really accomplished much yet. Now we have to trust that they're going to be able to accomplish it if we vote them in. So it's, nobody is really standing out.
So let's, before we get into that, just catch up. Fitness goes, LML. Damien is the AI representative. I don't know. Damien. Okay. Alafina says agencies can still differentiate themselves collaborating with AI and creating the prompts for better results, also by extending their data real estate rather than fighting the tide. Mm-hmm. Good suggestions. So getting back to the candidates thing, look, over and over again, we have to realize who, like, if you can take the attitude, and some people will say, look, what are you going to do for the Black vote? And if they can't answer that, you've got a decision whether you want to make it or not.
Exactly. And actually, that would have been a more pointed question.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Asked.
I'm a Black person. What are you going to do for me if I vote for you? Simple. Let's say it like that. Because, again, quick pro quo. If I do this, like, because look, I really want to know in this campaign, who are the developers supporting? I have a feeling in this mayoral campaign, they're supporting Mark Saunders.
Okay. I saw he's creeping up a little bit in the polls, but
if you look at, I saw some of his signs around Toronto over the weekend. Mm-hmm. His signs are blue and white.
Okay, he's leaning into the conservative.
Yeah, that's Doug. Leverage. Well, that's who Doug Ford wants to win.
Well, he definitely doesn't want Olivia Chow to win.
No, he don't want that. And neither the developers. They don't want that.
Right.
They don't want that. So it was just interesting. So, blue and white. I wonder what party that reminds me of.
Right.
You know, so let's see. So, hey, Sophia Jacob from Ottawa, just jumping in a few months ago. Just wondering if anyone attended the UN Permanent Forum for people of African descent in New York, or if there are any thoughts on the decade. No, I did not attend, but Sophia, I did a show a week ago yesterday with Richard Sharp, Cesar, and another representative. Cesar, Nadima Musa, and the other representative, they went down New York. I caught a small snippet of the presentation in New York. I didn't catch the whole thing, but there's another good conversation piece. The UN Decade for People of African Descent ends next year.
2024. Wow. And so now the Permanent Forum is looking to extend it, or
I have no idea. But again, that's another thing that most melanated people in this country, they have no idea.
We don't understand this fully. So I'm seeing the LinkedIn posts of people that were there. Yeah. So somebody needs to come on the show to
hold on. A lady that's giving the keynote at your event at the end of this month was down there with a group of her young leaders.
And Candace is that is a great person. You know what? We have her booked.
Yes, we do.
Talked to her. Yes. So she is actually coming on, so that would be a great question to ask her, because if you want to talk about a wealth of knowledge, especially in policy and government relations and international affairs,
Well, but but there's the challenge an organization like that has. Many melanated people are just thinking about day-to-day things, that sort of thing. That's but
he's
and
getting
I think
the youth involved though, which I feel like
yes, but you also have to get the older
yeah.
heads involved and buy into the. You need the young and the old to get. But the thing is, again, unfortunately, the organization, I think, has had a little of a misstep, communicating what they're doing to the masses.
That needs to be. She should be like spotlighted at 100%. So yeah,
Right here, right here, right here, right here. And Ray, and I agree with you, Ray. Politics is about money and power. Those in the running, yeah, those black candidates who are running, they don't have none. So the question is, who is funding? That's like in my other one of my other conversations with State of Things with Isha, Jill, and Lala. We always get down to follow the money.
Okay. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Follow money, and I agree with you, Ray. I want to know, where do the developers, where are they putting their money into the campaign? Whose campaign? And I have a feeling it's Saunders. I definitely, if anyone of the people in the top, it would be more Mark Saunders, because again, Saunders is tight with Doug Ford, right? Because people have to realize it takes money to run a political campaign,
big time,
right?
Yes, yes.
So after that person gets elected, who are they going to turn to first? The people that voted for him, or the people that put money into their campaign for them to win? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Camille so goes, ACB count, all is well. Okay, I hope all is well. Good morning, Tim Frey. What is up? Good to see.
Good day.
Ray says, dissemination of information, gentlemen. We don't control the social media algorithms, so black-centric information never gets to most. We have to find more effective ways of communicating. I agree, but people think social media is the way to do it. But again, getting back to the three: trauma, repetition, repetition, and symbolism.
Yeah,
we have to move from even the trauma. We won't even trust each other even digitally. So how are we going to trust each other face to face these days? But yeah, that would have been an interesting conversation to hear last night. And then again, here's another question I would have asked those people on the debate last night: why are you running?
Yeah, that's valid.
Or no, what's the real reason why you're running?
Right. If you're gonna get the block and bridge with that one. Nobody else is that.
But that's the thing. Why are the real? Because let's be real, they know they're not gonna win.
Right. So then it becomes, what is the end game?
There, exactly. It's the same thing.
Yeah. That's for people that are not even polling in the top 10, yet still feel like they're going to go through this process, has to be for some other reason.
Right? Because I respect all these candidates. They're smart people.
Valid. Yeah, yeah.
Right? So what is the real reason why you're running? Right? And are they saying the same thing to melanated audiences as they're saying to non-melanated audiences?
But I wonder, because it's going to be a short term, if a person that wins now is going to really set themselves up for a difficult re-election, because how much can they really get done within, what was it, like a year, 2 years that they're going to have in the seat? Like, they're going to have to knock it out the park in order to get re-elected, unless they're just coming for this short term and not. But I can't see anybody that is going to win this election and not want to be reelected. But it's going to be tough, because people are going to have so much ammunition, because Toronto's coming out of a massive deficit. They have to pay for it somehow. Somebody's going to have to be the bad person, and that's going to be ammunition against them when the next election starts. So it might be a lose-lose situation for whoever gets elected.
Yeah, I think that in the Toronto area, I don't know anyone I speak to who lives in Toronto who's happy right now. They got something that they're not pleased about. Like nothing really bothers me too much. But again, we'll get out of the Toronto-centric thing. This whole Eglinton LRT, don't start on me with that.
Okay, yes.
That is a light. That's a living rail travesty.
But this is where it starts to border on fraud. Like
No, that
it's so,
starts. Hold on,
but
starts.
It's so
Starts
yeah, it's so
is
disingenuous.
when you have someone running a major
is now.
when you have a person who's running a major transportation project,
Right.
way over budget, way over due date,
Yeah.
and you ask them, when is this going to get done? Oh, I don't know when. And then they get a raise.
Right. We're going backwards. Like our logic is backwards.
As my man Freddie Coleman would say, the more I know, the less I understand.
100%.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand. But we're speaking that at least this is going to be a very interesting summer, especially for melanated businesses. Correct? From your lens,
I would say so.
Yeah, I wonder. So Ryan, you don't have to give names of business, or you don't even have to answer this. But do you know a number of businesses that got loans that it's coming due time?
Not due. So most of them, the terms that they did get were like between 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
So nobody got funding that would be coming due this year, but variable interest rates, it might be inching up again. I'm hearing this morning that they're looking at increasing, and that has put a serious strain because now loans that were closer to 3.7% are now over 6%. And
what?
Range up again. So
how much?
That's the type of increase that we've seen with the loans that are through our program because it's Prime Plus. So now Prime keeps inching up. Entrepreneurs that haven't structured their business to leverage that loan and make more money, having their payments increase, we need to I've been calling entrepreneurs and saying listen, we need a better strategy for you to make more money because you can't stay status quo. You have to really focus on increasing your sales.
Absolutely. Either you got to cut expenses or increase revenue.
Yes, right.
And
that thing's creeping up.
And a lot of those businesses are probably service businesses. And what's going down cost-wise in the service industry? Nothing.
Ooh, true. Yes.
Right.
And even for people selling products, everything is inching up. Raw materials.
Okay, let's.
Yeah.
So finance like you, Eglin RT is the longest relationship I've ever seen.
Right.
Ray says, "Don't sleep on the infrastructure of Toronto." Well, once the LRT is finished, and it will finish when the opportunity to create wealth through real estate will present itself. Figure out your next move. I agree with you, Ray, but I think anything involving real estate around the LRT has already been locked down. And I live close to a street called Shepherd Avenue in Toronto, and there's light rail for transit. There are so many condominiums going along Shepherd Avenue. It's already been, the game's already been done. It's too late.
Gotcha.
I think it's too late in a lot of cases. Ray, you may know different because you know urban planning better than myself, but from what I see, it's already been locked down. Okay, so Sophia Jacob goes, okay, good question, Dr. Vi, which reminds me, what is happening with Face? We don't hear or see nothing. What's up with them? Just wondering. Ask Ryan. He would know more than me.
Ask me, he says. Right. And hey, they released their report for the fiscal 2021-2022. So that's out. I believe they had given out about $18 million out of the 298 that they currently have. So the next report should be coming out soon, 2022 to 2023.
So I have a question, and maybe you can answer this. So you're using this organization. They have this amount of money that they have to go out for loans. Who owns it? Is it the banks or is it Face?
There's two pools. So one bucket of money, which is $30 million that the government gave directly to Face to loan out. Okay. And then BDC, that bank, put in I think 200.
Yep. Okay.
So the BDC bank, but they do the loans over 100,000.
Okay,
So
so here's
most
my
of the
next
money is there.
question here. So FACE's mandate on these loans, when does that end? Do you know, is it the end of next year?
2025.
Okay, so what happens to the money that FACE gets that they don't give out in loans?
If we go by traditional, what happens to money that the government gives you, it would just go back.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
It would go back.
I just want to make sure of that because you and I are gonna have an offline conversation on that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. My eyes are going, all right. Waswell, yes, the entire construction sector, from transportation to housing infrastructure developments in Toronto, it's all dancing on the borderline of criminal activity.
Oh,
Dancing? It is. I'm gonna give a great example of the just say the financial management when it comes to these projects. There's an associate that I know. He is melanated and does work for a lot of times for these projects. So sometimes he'll go out to a project and it's a rainy day. So he'll sit in his truck for 5-6 hours and get paid for doing nothing.
Right.
That's where the tax money is going.
Wow.
And some of the stories he's told me, and he says he's encouraging melanated people to work in this industry because you work for 10 years, you're good.
Gotcha.
You have to work, you're set. You're set. So if any young people who are melanated are thinking about getting in that industry, go in it. I encourage you. Because you won't have to work a long period of time. You have to work hard, but not for a long period of time. You'll be set for many years to come. But the financial mismanagement, the stories,
wow,
ridiculous. And it's been going on for years. It's because when you look at these big projects, it's the same companies over and over and over again.
Right. And that's where the type of leverage they have against the government to be able to get away with this type of stuff. You would think, so Eglinton LRT was Crosslinks, which is $4 billion construction companies coming together to build out this LRT, and they couldn't figure this out, or they can't answer questions about how long it's going to take. Imagine what they're doing with all the other projects. Like, clearly this is their MO. Like, we have to really dig into their process.
See, but it's a good game because once you start the project, it's hard.
But they
to
have
stop
the leverage.
it. There's got to go through.
They're already locked in.
But yeah, people are watching live, especially on the replay. What do we do about all this? What do we as a people? What do we do about all of this? Like, do you have hope? Or is it such a mess you just say, you know what? Or white flag. Okay. And Sophia has a question, says, okay, thanks, Ryan. However, weren't all the banks supposed to be on board with FACE? No, they ditched. Half them are now have their own program for ACB folks. Why didn't they partner or stay partnered with FACE? Do you want to go there, Ryan?
The short answer is they figured out a way that they couldn't support FACE because it would look like all the banks working together, and their lawyers pretty much said that looks like collusion. So they were able to step away from the table, and now they created their own individual programs, very similar. And that's why the BDC had to come in to support FACE with the funding. So to answer the question, they backed off, and now even their programs are very silent. They're not promoting it a lot, I've noticed. Like a bank like Scotiabank that has a Black loan program did not even do a launch for it. I had to dig through their press releases to find the announcement. And if you call, I challenge anyone to call a Scotiabank and ask about the Black Entrepreneur Loan Program and see if anybody knows what you're talking about. I've called 5. All 5 of them have no clue what I'm talking about.
Symbolism.
So CIBC, I would say the process took long, but we did get across the finish line for a few entrepreneurs. RBC, I have not seen many people getting funding there, and Bank of Montreal have not seen a lot of funding there.
So what you probably will hear from those will say, "Hey, well, no one applied."
Oh, people applied. They'll say nobody is
qualified.
Yes, and that has been, and across the board, Face had that issue. All the big banks are having that issue because they're opening up loan programs, but not supporting the entrepreneurs to understand what do these underwriters want to see. When you're dealing with the underwriter, it doesn't matter what you call your program. They only look at risk. And so if we're coming to the table and we already have increased perceived risk, which is difficult to deal with, and then the business plan or the cash flow projections are incorrect in any which way an underwriter wants to pick at it, they'll decline it and feel no way about it. So these banks need to take their underwriter out of that ivory tower that they sit in, that and the faceless person that you never get to meet. They need to come down and explain, this is what we're looking for. This is how business plans need to be done. This is how the cash flow projections need to be done, so that when it gets to my table, it is solid. So organizations like ACBN, we have to prepare entrepreneurs with that information.
Yeah, there's a large amount of financial education that needs to be done. And I'm not saying this anything against anybody, but many of us never received it. So we're trying to play checkers when you need to play chess.
Right. But then so we complained that nobody will let us play chess. Like, oh, they won't give us money. They won't give us money. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, doors open. Here's your chair. Sit down.
And they know ahead of time that you're not ready.
Right.
So that's the thing.
What do you do?
So that's the thing. This is why, again, come back to collaboration. Mm-hmm. If you don't know something, ask. Like,
you need to
I don't know.
teach.
You don't go into the field. Don't go into fields where you're gonna get boom boom. Go prepared. So let's see. So racist construction and trades are major economic drivers. I know that absolutely. We have to get involved. The ability to create wealth is unlimited and still help our quote community unquote. That's Ryan's word. I'd say neighborhoods. No merit, no money, no charity. Sophia, great conversation, because always, Sophia, we don't see enough of you, but I know you got things to do. Are Black folk even taking a cause on taking a loan with the banks? And then
people are attempting. I've seen
Black folk, but Black folks don't want debt, period. You know what?
But that's a outside. Yeah. What are you thinking?
I just say a number of people's spending habits. I would disagree with that. Because they spend on things that is depreciating assets. So they don't realize. Yeah. If Wayne Harris was here, I'd love to ask him about that statement.
Because if you look at majority of households, they have credit cards, they have a car, and they have a house. So it's not about us not wanting debt. It's about us understanding how to leverage good debt. Because when you take on a business loan and you help that to increase your sales and be able to use the increased sales to pay off the loan, then your business is amplifying and growing exponentially. If you take a business loan because you're trying to cover your past credit card debts and pay your rent,
wrong.
That is why we don't like debt, because we're always spiraling downwards. We have to figure out how to, sustain what we're doing so that the money we bring in can actually be leveraged to grow our businesses. Then you'd want to take on as much debt as possible, because you're always just growing the business.
This is why we have individuals like Wayne Harris and Ray McMillan on every month. Simple. And Ray has a comment. I'm going to get to him, but also Alifin says the big banks are still racist. No surprise. Well, they're controlling the game. I wouldn't say it's racist. It's their game, right? They print the money. Ryan, there are enough competent financial professionals in the, again, quote, community, unquote. I love how you put that in quotes, Ray, because you know I'm not that's not my word, that's Ryan's word, to prepare borrowers on how to approach lenders. We have to use our resources. Decline should be minimal. Yeah, I agree. But again, people are either don't want to ask questions, they don't have pride, etc. And Ray puts out again, debt is necessary to create wealth. We have to change that approach and understand the relationship between debt and wealth. The statement is the root of our quote, our demise, unquote. And so, perfect example I brought up before, I'll bring it up again. Everyone knows who Elon Musk is, right? What social media platform did he buy last year? Which one, Ryan?
Yep, Twitter.
Okay. Yep. Did Elon Musk use all his money to buy Twitter?
I'm curious if he used any of it.
There you go. A lot of it was the majority of that money was from other sources, leveraged.
And so, to what Ray was saying, this is why the programs rolled out and were rocky at the start. There's enough financial professionals to support the businesses that need the information, but they need to be paid. So if you roll out a loan program and you don't create a mechanism for these professionals to sit down with entrepreneurs to get them prepared, you just open up the applications and entrepreneurs that are unprepared are applying instead of talking with that financial professional first and then getting ready and then applying. That would have reduced the declines. Instead, we did it in reverse. So that's why we're seeing all these declines.
I help entrepreneurs. It's one of the things I do. And I had a conversation with an entrepreneur about 3 months ago. And I said, and I had to be honest, says, I don't think you should go and start a business. You're not ready. And we have to be honest with that.
Exactly.
We got to stop looking at the numbers at the end and say, look, I don't think from my lens, I says you shouldn't go into business. It's up to you what you want to do. But from what I see, my suggestion is you're not ready yet.
Right.
And we have to, again, the symbolism. Oh, I'm going to start a business. Have you done the work? Have you done the research? You've done all these things?
Yes.
If you haven't done those things,
you're not ready.
I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready. Sophia says true. There's good debt. Ray says consumer debt is our death. Yeah, our biggest challenge. Yeah, and I think money is the money, and you know what? Financial anxiety is probably one of the biggest challenges we have in the melanated neighborhood. Financial trauma.
Right.
I think that is a bottom line course, and I'll put it out there. Dr. Boyce and Alicia Watkins have a course on financial trauma. I'm promoting it right here. Listen to them, because he has his PhD in finance and she has her PhD as a social worker. Great marrying. Thank you. Preach, Dr. Vibe. I'm just sharing. I ain't preaching.
Yes.
Alfie says we can dance their jig and still never fits their mold because it's not enough space ever meant for us. If we could get our financial trauma and anxiety, that we wouldn't need their help.
Mm-hmm.
Like you always hear that the black GNP of North America is 1.6 or 1 point whatever $billion. I think I call it $1.6 billion in investment. That money is investment money. It's not spending power. It should be investment power.
Okay, right.
Right. Sophia says that's what's needed to happen from the jump. However, for floodgates to open. They didn't realize how unprepared. I think it was just wanting to get numbers to look good. Mm-hmm. Some organizations were just saying, "Oh, let's just get those numbers in. We don't care what the end result is. Let's show our numbers." Mm-hmm. Again, business is bottom line. P&L, profit and loss. Are people better because of your program?
Right.
Are people better because of...
And who is doing that analysis? I don't think anybody really is.
Then, Ryan, we should do sessions en masse. Quote, get 50 applicants in a room and we walk them through the process. We do a 2-day session and screen each individual business before they apply. I agree. I think the screen from my lens, and just as my lens, I think some of the screening processes are. And again, I'm no business guru, but I'm going red flag. I'm seeing red flag.
And I 100% want to lean into that statement. We should pick a date. I have the applicants, like Ray said, we'll send it out 50, 20, whoever shows up, do that 2 day to get them ready for the application. I 100% am on board with that, and we'll get that done.
And also too, whoever people leading that course have the honesty to say to some people, you're not ready. In my opinion, my suggestion is you're not ready. You have to go do this, this, and this. Don't say, oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah. No, this is what you need. Because if it's my suggestion from my evaluated experience, if you go ahead with the way the things are, you're going to be disappointed.
Right. It won't work.
Right. That's fitness IQ. Again, the amount of times I want to say that, doctor, but shooting the dream sucks. But yeah, but you know what? I'd rather you have the Buckleys now than the Buckleys later.
Right. Well, the Buckleys now are the surgery later.
Exactly. Sorry. Yeah. Right. But honest feedback is needed. Absolutely. You can suggest. I tell you, this is my suggestion. At the end of the day, it's up to you. But this is my suggestion. The final discussion is up to you. There we go. Just as an FYI, banking in Canada isn't necessarily racist. It is a system we don't understand. Interesting way of putting it. I spent a few years in that environment as an advisor. Ray knows his stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a system. Not a racist. It's a fifth system. Those rules are there for a reason. Remember, banks are not there to help you. They're there to make money for themselves.
Right.
They've got shareholders that they've got to answer to.
And low risk money. Like they are not in the business of taking big risks.
Right. And the thing is, the way the world's looking, it looks like it's going to get tighter and tighter. Now, interesting, yes. The U.S. jobs report last Friday was a good one. So people are in the middle about if there's a recession that's going to happen by the end of this year. But regardless of recession, fiscal responsibility.
Right.
Ray's man, I'm actually seeing the uniting of Ray and Ryan here. The R&R connection. Ryan, we create a list of items to bring. Those who come prepared, we help. Those who don't, we can use the 3-strike rule. Bang.
Valid. Hey, we're going to pick a date for that because that's exactly what's needed. That list of the elements from your business you need to bring to the table, organize it.
Hey, if you don't have it, don't come. Really.
There it is.
Don't have it, don't come. I you know, you want, as I say, you want the greedy, not the needy. All right. Ray says themselves and their shareholders and shareholder Dr. Live, and as a shareholder, I am vested interest in their loan. Absolutely. Of course, right. The shareholders want, they want to return their ROI.
I see risky bets in there. So
absolutely.
Let's be better.
And Sophia says, great idea. If they're not ready, tell them to go back and get what they need so they can be successful the first time. And part of that course is how to pay that loan back and not go into further debt in capital letters. Wow. All right. I think we have done the dance for Monday morning. We actually have someone on Friday. Is it the person, one of your people that's on the team for your event at the end of this month?
Yes, who's on the? Oh my goodness!
You know, I'll give you her name because Ryan has, Ryan's on a media tour, so you have to realize he can't keep up with all the things that are going on in his life. So the lady's name is Salem Durhan.
Yes. So, and I always say it wrong. It might be Salem or Salem.
Salem. I think it's probably Salem. Yes, Salem.
Yes. Durhan. So she is an entrepreneur in Windsor that's been supporting us with putting together the conference and kind of boots on the ground, but has a wonderful story and wanted to just learn more about kind of her journey. So we invited her to come on and talk about her entrepreneurship journey and the community work that she does as well.
Well done. So thank you everyone for making Monday marvelous, Monday morning, especially here in the, I guess, GTA Ontario. It's a little cooler out there. You know what? I heard a very interesting description about the weather today, about smoky, sunny, they described it really interesting about this. So apparently the smoke from the fires has come across to this area of the world, so we're not getting full beam sunshine. So we're that's why we're not getting intense heat sunshine, because the smoke from the fires. But we still don't got no rain, family. Rain hasn't happened. Well, it happened a little bit on Friday, but we're not expecting any rain for another week or so. So detailing nights, what's going on with detailing nights? You got to be in full season right now.
That's it. But hey, making sure we're drinking our water and wearing our hats, because it's definitely been hot. And also working a bit earlier in the day and then working a bit later in the evening has been, and underground too sometimes.
Yes.
But yeah,
yes.
Man, it's been good. So hey,
all right.
Ship is moving.
Fitness IQ. Yes, Shaman, I like your points. Absolutely.
And
well,
Camille, that's something that we're going to invite you to. So putting together our suite of,
but she's way above us now, man. She's
sometimes you have to come back to the common.
Yeah, she has to come back to us commoners. Yes, she has to come back. But no, I'd love to be involved in that session, whether it's facilitating or whatever. I'd love to be involved in that, because I want people who are hungry.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
The anger. No time being the anger. Let's look at solutions. How can we move forward? Think about today and forward, not the past. We can't, learn from it, but let's think about today and moving forward in regards to these things. Like I said, if people that are ahead of us are saying collaboration and they have more control over things than us,
right?
What we do, what I guess you're calling. Yes, she's called. See, Fitness is calling you Mr. Celebrity. This is so
right.
Good. Yes, it's just a celebrity. Well, this is so good. Well, thank you today.
I'm working on it.
There you go. See, he's working on that. You see that? He's working on that. So everybody, thanks very much for hanging out with us today. As I said, we got a new friend coming up on Friday. Actually, next Monday, let me just look at the calendar. I know we have somebody. Actually, we have Dr. Tachi next Monday.
Amazing.
And she's getting and her network launches, the soft launches on the 19th, which is 2 weeks from today. So she'll be able to tell everyone where everyone can go to support that. You'll see some of our conversations. Actually, we were chatting offline. There's a potential of our replays being on twice a week on their network.
Okay.
Twice a week, which is going to be great. And Fitness, go speak for yourself. Oh, she was in the East, hail in the East. Fitness IQ. We love it. All right. So you can watch replays. It's been shown at the bottom, the morning vibe, but you can watch replays at YouTube and Facebook, and clips periodically on Instagram, Afro Caribbean Business Work, Facebook and YouTube Network on Facebook and YouTube. Ryan O'Neill Knight, LinkedIn. What else is going on this week, Ryan?
So for those that are interested in conversations around the Social Finance Fund, we're actually bringing some entrepreneurs and organizational leaders to have strategic discussions. Actually, the next one's at 11 a.m. So
you got to get going soon.
We'll get prepared for that. And then the rest of the week, the study groups are happening Tuesday evenings. We have, I think the last one is on June 20th. So join us Tuesday evening to just talk more about the manifesto and how we can implement a lot of these action items. But everything is in preparation for this conference at the end of the month.
You got to talk to you about that after the show.
Okay, it's sold out, people. So we're trying to see, we're calling those that registered to see, are you sure that you're coming, to see if we can open up some spots, but we are at capacity. So
okay, well, wins are going to be blackalicious for that week.
Yes.
All right, Fitness like you guys don't listen to Dr. Vibe. I'm down to join. Oh, she's made time. She made time. She talked to her executive assistant that quickly and made it happen. And she says, and the first session on June 1st was amazing.
Thank you.
All right. So before we leave, quick things. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. Please like it also. Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook and LinkedIn. And like all the stuff that Ryan's on. He's big on LinkedIn. He's a big LinkedIn guy. Also, please join us on the Discord group. Email me at dr.vipe at thedrvibeshow.com. Here are all the places where you can reach me. I'm going to read them, look at them. And then, would you like to promote your business or service on the show? Contact me at dr.vibe at the drvibe.show.com. So live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger. Block assumptions and aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace, and we'll see you on Friday. And actually, maybe we can talk about this early on Friday for people who watch sports. Shannon Sharpe is leaving Fox's big program, The Undisputed.
Okay, because I know he started his YouTube.
Yeah, that's doing very well. Shay room or Shay something room, but it's doing
Club Shay.
Club Shay has over I think over 1 million followers. He's leaving Fox, and interesting enough, anyone who watches ESPN, Stephen A. Smith is courting to see if he can come to ESPN, because Stephen A. Smith hosts a show called First Take, and he does a lot of sports commentary. But the funny thing is, Shannon Sharpe would probably want minimum $8 to $10 million a year, and ESPN has just done a huge amount of layoffs.
Wow, look at this.
So maybe we can get to that on the early part on Friday. All right, we are out of here. Be well, keep the faith, and remember to give yourself grace, and don't just manage your time, manage your energy. See you Friday.